What a week. I made already 2 videos preparing to make this video, and the camera announcements, although we expected them, it kept happening. And I had so many different changing thoughts about the R6V and the Sony A7R VI that I just had to share them all, but I couldn't really express how I felt. And today I was invited to an event by B&H featuring the Sony A7R VI. And I have my thoughts. I'm going to share them with you now, but if you like cameras specifically for video, consider subscribing because that's what I do. Now, first of all, let me give my thoughts on the R6V. Now, that's a great camera. Honestly, it does a lot for its body, and at the price tag that it's launching at, with 7K RAW, with the ability to do open gate, with all of the bells and whistles, but still using the camera menu rather than the cinema menu, not having an EVF, but including IBIS, and really trying to be kind of like a creator's camera. I think that camera at that price point is very interesting. And you know what? If I was starting out in full frame video creation, the R6V is something that I would potentially consider. Why? First, it does RAW recording. And second, it does open gate. Those are the 2 main prerequisites that I need. It's got dual card slots as well. And again, the price point, and it has a fan, although it can still overheat. That fan should be enough to take you through what you need. But when I look at it, I'm like, all right, my R5 Mark II does all of that, except it doesn't do open gate. But that's okay because I'm recording open gate right now, so it's not something that if I wanted open gate, I can't get. I've got autofocus, dual pixel autofocus actually on this camera, and I'm recording an open gate right now, so I get the best of both worlds. However, when it comes to what I need, is the R6V there? No. If I was starting out, I totally recommend that anyone interested in video and using cinema cameras, R6V is a great start. Besides all the Blackmagic cameras, which I absolutely love, the R6V does a great job in kind of making it easy for a lot of cinematographers just wanting a lot of features just taking care of you without having to learn too much about video. And then you slowly progress and become a lot better. Now, the Sony A7R VI. One of the videos that I was creating the other day was like my wish list, my features, my top features that I want in a Sony camera that would make them next level. Top 3 things, okay? First of all, and then shortly after I make that video, what happens? Sony announces the A7R VI. We still don't get an A7S IV, but we get an Sony A7R VI. Now, are they trying to really have a do-everything camera? I wouldn't say that's the case with the Sony A7R VI. Now, let me tell you why, and you might not like my comments if you're a Sony fan. But first and foremost, honestly, A7R VI coming out of the gate saying, hey, we've got this 67 megapixel camera. And I'm like, oh, please, not the 6.7s. Like, why 60? Like, I almost saw the videos like 6.7, even though that's like, even kids today are like, that's lame. And I can't stand it at this point. So maybe I'm old, but I know a lot of kids are like cringe when you say that. So besides that, and that really has nothing to do with the tech, 67 megapixel should be a great camera. It's got a fast readout. Great, perfect. But when I'm talking video, what interesting video specs does it have? Well, it does something that really Canon has done with their DTO sensors in their cinema cameras before they stopped doing that. And it's the fact that it has that kind of like dual ISO at slower frame rates when you're recording at 4K 24, 4K 30. And that's something that Canon cameras have done. Like I said, the cinema cameras and the 5D Mark IV could do that. It's when the camera itself records one frame at one ISO level and the other frame at the other ISO level. And then it just kind of mixes those two frames together to combine them to get more dynamic range in your shots. But does it really improve your video? Maybe a couple of stops in dynamic range might be great, but like, it's something that's been done before, and even though Sony's trying it now, they're kind of late to the party. But what else is interesting? They do 8K at 30 frames per second with a 1.1 times crop. Still a crop, but it's oversampled. It's like, wow, Sony, you have that in other cameras, and it's been done. Like, it's not something that's new, in my opinion. 8K 30 was something that the R5 did in 2020, almost 6 years ago, because that camera came out July 30th, 2020, on my birthday. So, like, all right, that's not something I'm paying attention to. All right, well, it can do, besides that, like, dual ISO whatever to get more dynamic range, 8K 30, it does 4K at 120, like, it does all these, like, video features in itself, and it's got a faster readout, but it uses the CFexpress Type A cards, which Sony can't make anymore because we have a problem with that. And then SD cards, it's not a camera right now that I'm seeing as interesting. Now, when I tested it out, you know, I recorded S-Log 3 at the Sony event, and it was pretty interesting being at the Sony event, and it does great. But I'll tell you, I was using it and using the Sony menu, and I'm like, this menu, I'm not familiar with it. I'm sure that people who shoot Sony would be like totally fine with it, but I was like tough getting around. I'm like, what I miss is the ability to record RAW in it. What is the point of this camera for a videographer? Now, photographers, great. And I see a lot of people who do videos show up to events using Sony cameras. Heck, I was in an event recently where someone was recording and taking pictures, and they brought their Sony cameras. But the luster of Sony cameras, in my eyes, like fizzling a little bit, at least when it comes to production, because what do you got? Really? What do you got that's like next level? The A7R VI is not it, but these A7S IV, if it were ever to come out, probably should hopefully give Sony users that list that I rattled off of the top things that I wanted this new Sony camera to have. So we'll see. But anyway, R6V, definitely buy over Sony A7R VI if you're into video. Hands down, definitely do that. But we'll see. An FX3 is still a good camera, but it's a good camera for 6 years ago. Is it a good camera for today? Absolutely not. I don't think so. You don't get anything over 4K. And right now, it's not standard. That's all I got to say about that. Like, share, and you can make my day if you subscribe to this. Magnus, and I'm out. See you guys next time. Bye.